Hello, friends, and welcome to Enjoy English. I am your host, Shane.
大家好，我是 Bernice.
Hello, Bernice.
Hi, Shane.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Do you like to drink coffee?
Well, I'm not a fan of coffee.
Not
Sorry.
a fan of coffee? What's wrong with you? Coffee's the best. Today, we are talking about the topic is enjoy a cup of Turkish coffee and a sense of ritual.
Wow.
Okay, so Turkish coffee is more than just a drink. That's what it wants us to know. It's not just a drink. It's got a lot more going on than just something you just drink for a little bit of caffeine. You want to wake up. No, there is more going on. There's a ritual involved with Turkish coffee that we're going to find all about.
Oh, 好的。
So you're not probably that interested in coffee,
Well,
and
真的不太
especially
喜欢喝咖啡。
Turkish coffee. I bet you've never even thought of trying that.
No.
No.
OK， 好的。我们今天的主题呢，美食飨宴要讲的是大部分的人都很喜欢喝的咖啡，这样的一个你觉得随手可得的一个饮料。不过我们今天要介绍的是土耳其的咖啡。他觉得这个土耳其的咖啡，它不是仅仅就只是一种，好像让你可以早上起来啦，好让你觉得是一个很好的一种饮料。它其实呢是一种 ritual， 就刚才老师讲，它是一种仪式感，就觉得它好像要有一种很特殊的感觉，当你在你在喝咖啡的时候，它是一种很 special、很 meaningful 的一种感觉啦，所以他觉得是一种 ritual 这样。
It's a very wonderful ritual, drinking coffee. It's my ritual every day. Every day, coffee should be a ritual.
好的。
Okay, let's get into it.
好的。
Enjoy a cup of Turkish coffee and a sense of ritual. For many people, a cup of coffee is simply a practical way to start the day and stay productive. However, Turkish coffee is regarded as an important part of Turkey's cultural heritage. It carries deep meanings related to tradition and social life rather than serving only as a daily drink. Turkish coffee is made from freshly roasted coffee beans that are ground into a very fine powder. The drink is prepared in a special small copper pot called a cezve. To make Turkish coffee, you first place the coffee powder into the pot and then slowly add cold water. The mixture is gently stirred several times before being heated. It should be heated carefully until a thick layer of foam appears on the surface. Once ready, the coffee is poured into a small cup. It is traditionally served on a saucer with a small sweet treat. Since Turkish coffee is unfiltered, some of the coffee grounds are poured into the cup along with the liquid. Some people wait until the grounds have completely settled at the bottom before taking their first sip. Others prefer to drink the coffee while it is still thick and cloudy, enjoying its strong and rich flavor even as the grounds remain suspended throughout the cup.
Okay, so we know you're not a coffee drinker, but what do you drink like on a cold day, for example? Or
Hot tea.
so you
Hot tea is my favorite.
you're a tea drinker.
Yes.
Do you drink caffeinated
No.
teas or herbal teas?
Herbal.
All herbal,
Yeah.
huh? So you don't use anything that kind of wakes you up or gets you going, like you don't use caffeine.
No.
Oh, are you against it?
No, because I think because I sleep well. So that's why.
Oh, so you're afraid to affect your sleep, so you don't want to get any caffeine in your body.
对，所以这是其中一个原因，就是Shane 老师认为说，他们是一个早上起床让你可以有比较清醒的感觉。可是 Bernice 老师睡得还挺好的，所以也不用什么特别让我 wake up 的那个。
So you have plenty of energy to start the day.
Yes,
No problem.
yes. No
Okay,
problem.
great. Well, let's get into this article.
All right.
For many people, a cup of coffee is simply a practical way to start the day and stay productive. Now, when we say something is practical, we mean that it's just very it's not very special or has some like unique purpose. It is just about the word practical comes from practice, the practice of doing something.
Yeah.
So it's really just about, it's not about anything more than just like a way to get us going. Right? Yeah. So how would you define practical in Chinese?
实用的 useful.
Yeah, it's just, useful. That's a good.
Yeah,
I was looking
useful.
for a good synonym for practical. Yeah, something that's useful.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
OK， 好，所以第一个句子对许多人来说啦，哈，就是你喝一杯咖啡呢，其实它只是一个呢非常这个 practical way，就刚刚我们讲的 useful way，或者你要说 effective way 也可以，就是一个很有效的一个方法。
For the purpose that you want to obtain.
Yeah,
so
right.
the reason it's practical in this situation is it's usually because people want to wake up and get a little bit of energy for the day. So that's why they use this practice of drinking tea. So it's
没错
practical.
对，所以我们就用了这样的一个有效的方法呢，去开启我们的一天，而且呢，也可以 stay productive。我们知道 productive 就是指呢你的工作非常的有效率 ，work efficiently， 所以呢，你就可以有这个保持高效工作的这个态度咯。
All right, be productive. That's what it's all about. However, Turkish coffee is regarded as an important part of Turkey's cultural heritage. So Turkish coffee is a little bit different than regular coffee. We're going to learn more about Turkish coffee and how it's made later. But for right now, we're learning that it is regarded as an important part of Turkey's cultural heritage. So something is regarded as, it means it's seen as, or it's known to be like that. Right.
所以接下来他讲的是，然而我们今天的主题呢，土耳其咖啡，其实呢，它被认为、被视为，所以 is regarded as is viewed as V-I-E-W-E-D
Good word, viewed.
is viewed as 就被视为是什么呢？是一个非常重要的在土耳其的文化的 heritage。我们知道这个 heritage 就是讲这个遗产，尤其是我们指国家啦，或者是一个社会里面流传下来那种具有历史意义的一些传统的东西，我们就把它叫做一种 heritage。
Be seen as.
Be seen
viewed
as.
Be
viewed
seen as.
Yes.
There's all different kinds of ways to say it. Continuing.
Okay.
It carries deep meanings related to tradition and social life rather than serving only as a daily drink. So it has a lot of tradition that goes along with it and social life. You're socializing and things like that. It's not just like how I know that in, many modern countries, it's just very practical why we drink coffee.
Yeah,
right? We just really just drink coffee because we just feel sleepy in the morning or maybe in the afternoon you drink a little bit of coffee. Just kind of wake up after lunch, or something like that. Wake up in the morning. It's just we kind of get it and we're used to it as it's become part of our society too, even more and more now in Taiwan. Maybe 30 years ago, there wasn't a lot of coffee in Taiwan.
Yeah, that's true.
But these days, younger people drink coffee more than tea. So coffee, when you go to 7-Eleven, you see how many people are buying coffee at 7-Eleven. So it's very important in our culture as well, but it doesn't have quite the ritualistic and social implications or uses that it does in Turkish society.
没错，所以我们接下来讲的这个句子就是说呢，其实呢，我们知道这个 it 指的就是这个咖啡啦，它其实承载着呢一些很深层的意义，就像老师刚才讲的，可能30年前台湾没有这么多人喝咖啡，可是现在你可以看到，你走到便利商店里面，到处每一个人呢，几乎大概10个人进去，6、7个，大家都是去买咖啡的。好，那这个所谓的很深刻的这个意义呢，其实它是 related to， 我们就是 which are related to 是跟什么息息相关的呢？其实就是跟我们人类的一些传统啦，还有我们的一些社会生活，而不是 rather than， 就是不是只有把这个咖啡呢 serving， 就是提供这样的一个咖啡，只是当做我们每一天的一个饮品而已。
That's right. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
好的。
All right. Well, we know how we make coffee here in Taiwan,
Yeah.
how we make coffee in the West, you know, in many developed countries. Coffee's made quite the same way, especially when you go into like a convenience store, like you said. These are what we call Americanos, where they will put espresso and then put hot water.
美式咖啡.
Yeah, we call it 美式咖啡, but it's actually not 美式咖啡because 美式咖啡is actually drip coffee that drips down more slowly. So they call it Americano because in Italian, when Americans wanted coffee, they weren't used to drinking just espresso because espresso is just 很浓.
对，浓缩咖啡.
So they would say, an American would say, will you please add some hot water to it so it will make it like the way that we're used to drinking it in American. So they called it Americano.
Okay.
But it's not really the American way to drink
OK， 其
coffee.
实不是他们那个喝美式咖啡真正的一个方式。
Just so you know. So let's find out how the Turkish make their coffee a little bit different.
All right.
Turkish coffee is made from freshly roasted coffee beans that are ground into a very fine powder. Okay, so to grind something means to rub it together until it kind of falls apart and becomes into little pieces. Usually we use a grinder or something that will break it down from like a whole bean. In this example, it's a bean, and then it goes through a grinder, which breaks it and makes it into small pieces. And here, it's almost like they say it's all the way to a powder, which is quite different than the way that we use the grinding method for American-style coffee or espresso-style coffees. It's not a powder. It's still, you can still see kind of like flakes of coffee. Yeah.
OK， 所以呢，这个土耳其咖啡的制作方式，刚才轩老师讲，跟他们美式咖啡的制作方式是不一样的啊。所以他就讲了，土耳其咖啡呢，其实它是 made from， 它是由什么东西从什么地方制作来的呢？它是 freshly roasted。我们知道这个 roast 这个字呢，就是有烘焙过的，所以呢 freshly 我们这边把 fresh 加 ly 是一个副词去修饰形容词 roasted coffee， 因为他这边讲 roasted 是形容那个咖啡烘焙的咖啡，所以呢他就说，哎，这是非常新鲜烘焙过的咖啡豆。然后呢，这些豆子是 be ground into， 我们知道这个 ground 在这边是从这个 grind grind 这个字来的。那 grind 是指研磨，好，把它磨碎、磨粉的意思。所以呢，就是说这些豆子呢，其实把它研磨成很细很细。这边的 fine 呢是指很细微的，对。很细微的这个粉末，好，所制作出来的土耳其咖啡。
Okay, the drink is prepared in a special small copper pot called a jezva. Now, when we see in Turkish, when you see a C, it's actually pronounced like a J.
Oh, J.
Which is quite interesting, jezva.
Jezva.
Yeah, and it's a special pot that they serve the coffee out of. Yeah, so it has a special, like we don't really use coffee. Well, we might have a coffee pot in American drip style coffee, but like at my house, I actually have an espresso machine. So I don't have a special pot that I put my coffee into and then pour it into a cup. Typically we, you know, especially convenience stores, it's not out of a pot.
Yeah,
It's just right out of a machine.
没错，
But here it's in a pot, kind of like a tea.
对对对，所以这边讲说这一个土耳其咖啡，它的这个方式是说它会放在一个特殊的小小的铜做的壶子里面。那就像刚才老师讲的，一般我们如果在家里面我们有一个咖啡机的话，我们就直接就倒在杯子里面，我们不会再倒在一个壶里面。再去做这个咖啡，对，所以他就讲说这个东西呢，是被准备，它被准备的方式就是放在这种特殊的小铜壶里面去制作。那这个小铜壶呢，就是老师刚才讲，它叫 jezva， 那个 C 老师说在土耳其语要念成 J 的那个发音。
Right, okay. To make Turkish coffee, you first place the coffee powder into the pot, into the jezva, and then slowly add cold water.
Oh, cold water 不是 hot water.
Yeah, so these grinds are fine enough, like a powder, that even in cold water, they are going to dissolve.
啊，都可以溶解。
exactly.
没错 ，OK。
Whereas with our kind of coffee grounds, you put cold water, you're just going to have cold water with, it's not going to work at all.
It's not a coffee.
It's not going to be coffee.
对
Nothing you're going to want to drink.
对，所以它
Yeah.
这边很特殊，就是说，当你要制作这个土耳其咖啡的时候呢，第一个你先把这个 place 就是放置的意思，你先把你的那个刚才磨好的很细的这个咖啡粉呢，放到这个壶子里面，放到壶子里面之后呢，你要加的慢慢加进去的是冷水，所以它意思就是说，因为它非常非常的细致，你即便用冷水都可以让这个粉末呢可以溶解。
Great. The mixture is gently stirred several times before being heated. So they stir it up, right? So to stir just means to move it around. Usually you use an instrument like a stick or some kind of, it could be a spoon, right? That's a very obvious one. And you just mix it around.
Yeah.
And that is to stir. So first you stir this powder with the cold water, then you heat it up.
没错，所以呢，你接下来呢就把它这个混合物呢，然后你要 gently stir 的，就是轻轻的啊，你不用这样这么用力，你轻轻的搅拌，对，然后搅拌个几次之后呢 ，before being heated， 就在这个东西被加热以前，那个 being 是从 it is 所省略出来的，然后把这个 it 相同的主词，也就是 the mixture 去掉，那 is 呢变成了 being。
Okay. It should be heated carefully until a thick layer of foam appears on the surface. Now so foam, boy, how do I explain what foam is in English? It's just this fine bubbles. So bubbles that are very, very small is what we would call foam. So typically we're used to seeing if you were to have a latte, for example, the milk, on the very
foam.
top of the milk, there would be foam, small little bubbles.
奶泡
Yeah, but this is coffee. These are kind of like coffee bubbles. So what would you call it?
咖啡泡
Right. So it appears on the surface, and then you know, hey, it's ready to go.
对，所以呢，我们要怎么？他不是说在加热以前，你这样子轻轻的搅拌嘛？然后呢，这时候你就要开始加热，而且加热的时候你要小心，慢慢的加热 ，heat it。Carefully， 那你加热到什么时候？你知道说，哎，这个咖啡已经 ready 了呢？是一直到这个咖啡的表面呢出现一层呢厚厚的一个 layer， 就是一层。就刚刚我们讲的这个咖啡的泡沫，你看到这个泡沫出现在上面的时候，表示你加热成功，这个咖啡就差不多好了。
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Man, I want some now. Once ready, the coffee is poured into a small cup. Okay, so they use little small cups, kind of like how Italians drink espresso.
Yeah.
Because espresso is also 很浓,
对
right? Kind of thick in a way, and very concentrated.
Yeah.
And they will drink it out of very small cups too. So Turkish also drink it out of small cups.
刚刚老师讲这个 concentrated 就是浓缩的。对，就是很精华啦，所以它很浓嘛。再说我们叫浓缩咖啡就是这样。所以呢，一旦你这个咖啡准备好啦，这时候你就把你加热好的咖啡，把它倒进在一个小小的杯子里面。所以它并不是那样一大杯的，它就是像意大利人喝那样小小的一杯咖啡。
It is traditionally served on a saucer with a small sweet treat. Now a saucer is just like a small plate.
Yeah.
Just like a little plate. And you get a little sweet treat. So maybe a little pastry or a cookie or something like that. And then you enjoy your coffee with your small treat.
对，好的，所以呢，在传统上面，它的这个服务的方式 serve 的，它被这个做的这个方式呢，就是它会把这个土耳其咖啡呢，放在这一个 saucer， 好 ，saucer 就是小碟子，然后放在这个小碟子上面呢，上面还会搭配一个 small sweet treat， 就是一些小小的甜点啦，小小的点心在上面。然后搭配着一起用，在这个第二段里面，同学有看到很多的被动式哦。从第一个句子 is made from， 第二句 is prepared in， 然后到第三句你有看到 is gently stirred， 哇，好多的被动式
is traditionally served。
对，所以这个句子这个段落里面确实用了相当多的被动式，好，所以同学要特别注意这个文法。
Oh man, I guess I want some coffee right now.
好了，
let's take a
谢老师
break.
马上要喝咖啡了。
This is my wife's, by the way. That's why it's pink.
Yeah,
it's Barba,
pink.
Barba Papa. It's very cute, very pink. Okay, let's take a short break while I have some coffee.
All right, bye.
All right, let's continue talking about how Turkish coffee is prepared.
Okay.
Since Turkish coffee is unfiltered, some of the coffee grounds are poured into the cup along with the liquid. All right, so grounds, or a coffee ground, is after you grind the coffee or make it into small pieces, what is left is grounds. And we'll say once it's actually been made wet, these are also called the grounds, like the leftover grounds that are left over. So they're actually here, we use them as kind of leftovers and throw them away. But here, the coffee grounds are poured into the cup along with the liquid.
对，所以大部分我们就会把那个 ground， 刚才老师讲这个 ground 就是剩下的那个渣渣，咖啡的渣渣，通常我们就是把它丢掉了哈。但是呢，在土耳其来讲呢 ，since 由于呢他们这个土耳其咖啡其实它是 unfiltered， 我们到这个 filter 就是有过滤，加了 un 就是没有，就是因为它的咖啡是没有经过过滤的，所以呢它里面还是会有一些咖啡的渣渣。那所以呢，当你把刚才我们讲说把那个热的咖啡倒在杯子里面的时候，就会随着你的 along with 就是附随着，就会随着它的这个 liquid 就是你倒进去的那个液体呢，就会一起倒到你的杯子里面。所以就说你喝咖啡的时候，下面还会有渣渣，会有这些 leftover 在下面。
Right. So some people wait until the grounds have completely settled at the bottom before taking their first sip. Now, to settle just means to kind of fall down and to stop moving. Because what's happening is these grounds have been kind of mixed into there, so they are moving around. Now, to settle means to stop moving and to go down into a stationary or a stopped position. Right. And they settle at the bottom before you take your first sip. So sip just means you take a drink of something, you have a drink, we call that a sip.
Yeah.
So you can have a sip of water, a sip of tea, a sip of coffee.
Yep.
Yeah.
OK， 好，老师刚刚讲这个 settle， 就是说你上面呢，刚才倒进去的时候，这一个它的那个残渣还在上面漂浮着，然后慢慢它就开始到这个杯底了，然后进入到静止不动。那这时候就是他表示他已经 settle 了，所以有一些人呢，当他要开始喝他的第一口咖啡的时候呢，他会先等着这些咖啡渣完完全全这样子，刚才讲的慢慢沉淀，一直 at 到了那个杯底的时候，他才开始去喝他的第一口。
Okay. Now, how about other people? Others prefer to drink the coffee while it is still thick and cloudy, enjoying its strong and rich flavor, even as the grounds remain suspended throughout the cup. So that's the opposite. While they're still moving around, we'll say they're suspended within this liquid. They haven't settled yet. So people like to drink it that way while it's all kind of just floating around and it's a little bit stronger and has a more thick flavor to it. That sounds good. I want to try Turkish coffee. I've never tried it.
OK， 好的，所以对于你咖啡很喜欢喝咖啡的人会有这个想要试试看的感觉。所以呢，还有一些人则是喜欢说呢，他喝咖啡的时候 while 就是当这个咖啡呢，它本身还是非常的浓稠，而且它很浑浊。为什么说它 cloudy 呢？不是说它很多的云在上面，不是，就是说呢，因为那个上面的残渣还在那边飘来飘去嘛，所以会让你的咖啡看起来没有那么样的沉静，它有一点渣渣屑屑在里面，好，就有一点灰白的感觉啦，所以他就觉得说，是用 cloudy 这样的一个形容方式。然后呢，因为为什么他们喜欢这样？他觉得可以 enjoy its strong and rich flavor， 因为这样子喝下去的时候，我会感觉到哇，它的那个味道是非常浓郁的，非常的醇厚的这样子，而且甚至呢是当这些所谓的咖啡渣 都还 suspended 这个意思就是悬浮在那里，漂浮在那边，好，还在漂浮在整个杯子 throughout the cup， 就是整个杯子里面都有咖啡渣在那边漂浮的时候，他觉得这样，嘿，一口喝下去是最棒的。
Awesome. Okay, well, that's all we have for day 1. And we have a day 2 where
Yes.
we're going to talk a little bit more about the social and traditions and some of the customs that they
Yeah.
have around Turkish coffee. So make sure to join us
Yes.
next time.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.